Good morning, and thank you for having us. The Practical Talent Solutions team is very happy to be here today. My name is Lauren Sadulsky, and I have been an associate at PTS for 5 years. I'm going to give you a quick overview of our company before handing it off to Rachel to explain a bit about our technical approach. Founded in 1990 and headquartered in Manhattan, New York, Practical Talent Solutions has 500 employees worldwide and offers state-of-the-art consulting and implementation services of performance management systems. If you choose PTS, you will be working with subject matter experts in the performance management field. 35% of our workforce holds advanced degrees in either industrial and organizational psychology or business administration. PTS recognized a banner year in 2021 due in part to the pandemic, which compelled more companies to look into revamping or developing from scratch their performance management systems. This year resulted in a large increase in hiring, as well as opening 3 new locations in Washington, D.C., Boston, Massachusetts, and our first location abroad in London, England. We have a proven track record in developing and implementing performance management systems that meet or exceed our clients' needs. With a company of StyleBox's size, we will have FTEs assigned full-time, dedicated to implementing the best performance management system possible for StyleBox's needs. These FTEs will have prior experience in working to improve the performance management system of customer service representatives specifically. They will begin by conducting a work analysis, which will be described in further detail in the forthcoming slides. Thank you for inviting us to speak with you today. We very much appreciate your time, and pending any upfront questions, we will jump into explaining our technical approach. Over to you, Rachel.
Thanks for that, Lauren. My name is Rachel Yaeher, and I'll be going over the overview and some of our technical approach. Firstly, we want to really nail down what your needs at StyleBox are, and that's increase customer satisfaction and elevate overall performance. We believe our performance management system will do just that. Moving on to our technical approach overview. I will go into detail about the work analysis, and then I'll turn the time over to Nikita to discuss the performance management system and frame of reference training. After which she will turn the time over to Brandon to speak on the performance management tool, the computer adaptive test, and performance appraisals. And Lauren will take back over with an explanation of our timeline. Like I said, I will be talking in depth about the work analysis, its importance, and what we'll need from you. We understand that it's your mission to change the way people find clothes they love by combining technology with the personal touch of style experts. We're going to build on that during our work analysis to fully understand how we can best tailor a performance management system to you. A work analysis is simply gathering information about the task and personal requirements of a given job or role. For StyleBox, this is particularly important because we're coming in with a known issue that we're trying to solve. We want our solution to be in line with your organizational values and effective in solving the customer service satisfaction concern. This work analysis would consist of gathering information pertaining to the content and context of the customer service agent and team lead positions in order to better understand the nature of the work. We would begin by observing current customer service agents and team leads as they go about their day at StyleBox. We will have 2 rotating observers taking notes and impressions on how your employees go about their day-to-day jobs, paying special attention to their customer service interactions. Next, we would conduct supervisory interviews. We want to talk to your supervisors to establish the tasks, duties, and behaviors that they consider successful job performance. All observations and interviews will be conducted on-site. We will provide a list of sample questions before the interviews take place. Finally, we ask that StyleBox managers find and compile a representative team of 6 to 10 subject matter experts to explain what knowledge, skills, abilities, and other attributes are necessary for the completion of job-related tasks. We want to know exactly what leads to successful organizational outcomes, and also what leads to undesirable organizational outcomes. The subject matter experts will be a panel with varying expertise, including top-level managers, fashion merchandising experts, fashion stylists, and top-performing customer service employees. We encourage these subject matter experts to discuss issues and resolve disagreements openly. We want to absorb the most relevant information about the organization as possible. There's no better source for this information than supervisors and subject matter experts. Once we compile and analyze the results of the observations, interviews, and subject matter experts panel, we will identify the next steps to take, which will include our ideas for building and maintaining an enhanced evidence-based performance management system, along with frame of reference training suggestions. In closing, what we'll need from you is time and space to conduct our observations. We will need you to identify first-line supervisors to participate in interviews, and then we'll need you to identify a subject matter expert panel that are prepared to elaborate on their expertise within the organization. Now, over to Nikita for the performance management system and frame of reference training.
Thank you, Rachel. Hi there, I am Nikita O'Leary, and today I am speaking with you about the performance management system we have created for you. Most importantly, the system is aligned with your organizational goals. It is thorough, practical, cost-effective. It is meaningful for making HR decisions. It demonstrates discriminability. It is reliable and valid. It is inclusive, and it is also fair. The system we have designed for you includes a 360-degree performance appraisal, meaning the feedback is collected from peers, the self, and supervisors. The benefits are an increased reliability, greater employee participation, and decreases in rater bias. Another advantage of a 360-degree performance appraisal system is that they allow for the collection of analysis of both situational and task-related performance information. There are 4 steps to implement a 360-degree feedback system. First, we must inform your employees in the new system and explain to them how it really works. This will increase perceived fairness and utility and motivate employees to perform better. Next, incorporate the ratings of 3 different sources. Again, that's the peers, the self, and the supervisors. We will create behaviorally anchored graphic rating scales from the information we gained during the work analysis from your supervisors and subject matter experts. The behaviorally derived anchors will strengthen the graphic rating scales and make it easier for your supervisors and peers to be more precise in their ratings. Lastly, we will include an essay designed to assess employee performance in terms of objective and subjective criteria for self-ratings. This step is mainly to serve as an aid to help your employees grow and develop. We would like to rebuild your training model for appraisers with frame of reference training. This method, backed by research, gives us the opportunity to influence all of your trainers, new and experienced, by educating them on the diverse performance dimensions they will measure. During frame of reference training, your supervisors will learn exactly what they are looking for when measuring performance. They will have guidelines to ensure that there's no guesswork in this task. We suggest frame of reference training over the various training models available because research shows this training actually increases accuracy and consistency in performance appraisals. It is very important that your supervisors learn the best way to reduce their own bias when rating and learn how to communicate performance expectations with their team. Our training agenda will include all the steps that you need to train your future performance appraisers, as well as realistic time intervals for each training section. Once your raters have been fully trained, rest assured that they can begin rating your employees' performance more accurately and confidence. Overall, increasing the performance that is needed to boost customer service satisfaction at StyleBox. Another important process needed to increase performance and in turn customer satisfaction that we suggest is retranslation. Simply put, this is a process of quality control. We use it to utilize all of that information that was gathered during the work analysis and to make sure that that information about the behaviors and the jobs that we're actually measuring is utilized properly. Essentially, this step translates that information from the work analysis into the behaviorally anchored graphic rating skills that we will customize to measure performance for you. We highly suggest this not only as a quality control measure, but also as a way to empower your subject matter experts and supervisors to define the performance measures they will use to boost team performance.
Hello everyone, my name is Brandon Salazar and I am now going to discuss Phase 3 of our technical approach to you. To start off, I would like to spend a moment discussing formal and informal performance conversations. I think everyone knows about formal performance appraisals. You sit down once or twice per year with your supervisor and he lets you know how you're doing. When the appraisal is done, you have either been given a small merit increase or maybe you even got a promotion. These types of appraisals should be held every 6 months and they should be standardized. Every employee should be graded the same way because this creates fairness and consistency in the appraisal process, and it's more legally defensible in case someone happens to take legal action against you. Employment decisions such as merit increases or promotions should be tied to these formal performance appraisals. But what about informal performance conversations? Our firm would like to include, as part of your new performance management system, informal performance conversations with your customer service agents and team leads once a month. Informal performance conversations are a great way to check in with your employees to see how they're doing. Have they set goals, and how much progress have they made towards these goals? It's also a great way for supervisors to provide coaching to those employees. Give them good, concrete examples of behavior that will help them achieve those goals. Let your employees know that their input is welcome too. This performance conversation is about more than just numbers. It's about the employees and their issues, concerns, and successes. The final part of Phase 3 is the creation and implementation of a selection battery to help you select well-qualified candidates to boost your customer service department. But today, I would like to talk to you specifically about the Computer Adaptive Test, or CAT. The CAT is basically just an online test that you will give to new applicants to measure job-relevant contracts such as customer service orientation and problem-solving ability. The way it works is the CAT selects questions for the applicant that change in difficulty depending on how the applicant has answered previous questions. So if an applicant has gotten several questions in a row correct, it may make the test more difficult, and on the other hand, if the applicant has gotten several questions incorrect, it might lower the difficulty of the questions. Doing this is a great way to get more accurate results compared to other assessment methods, which ensures that you are hiring the right people. Developing these tests can be expensive and time-consuming, but when your main focus is on hiring the right people, you can't go wrong with a test like this. Now you might be wondering, well, that's great, but how do we create something like this? Well, that's what we're here for. So we're going to take a look at the results of our work analysis that we completed in Phase 1 and the interview panels, and we're going to come up with the best questions to measure things like customer service orientation and problem-solving ability. And then we're going to give them back to your subject matter experts and supervisors, and we're going to have them look over the assessment questions that we came up with. Once StyleBox has improved these questions, we're going to go ahead and create a pilot test and give the questions to a sample of people that represent customer service agents and team leads. We will then conduct a traditional item analysis and assess the CAT questions for bias. From here, a final pool of questions will be selected, and we will give the completed test to another representative sample of participants and determine statistical information such as reliability and validity. Once that's done, the CAT test will be ready to publish online. Remember that the definitions of constructs like customer service orientation and problem solving may change over time, and as such, the data that you get from the test should be monitored and updated periodically. So now we're going to go back to Lauren, and she's going to discuss our proposed timeline.
So in summation, and to sort of put a bow on everything you have just heard, we wanted to show you what a notional schedule would look like for this performance management system implementation project. We begin by conducting employee observations, which will take approximately 2 months, depending upon the number of employees, and allowing us to observe all employees in as many situations as possible. The next major step is to put together those subject matter expert and supervisor panels that we discussed, and to conduct interviews with those people. Frame of reference training is the next key step in our schedule, which involves creating an agenda and a timetable from start to completion that is specific to StyleBox's needs. The length of time it takes to complete the training will depend upon the number of raters you would like to train. 20 future performance raters can be trained in a 1-week period. So if, for example, you have 200 raters that need training, it would take about 10 weeks' time. Next up in phase 2 is the retranslation process for creating behaviorally anchored rating scales for the performance appraisal tools using the information learned during the phase 1 work analysis. This will take about 3 weeks. We're then looking at about another 2 weeks to create the final performance evaluation forms. Lastly, we come to phase 3 of our technical approach, implementing the previously mentioned performance appraisals and creating the computerized adaptive test and selection battery, which is the long pole for this project. So after the performance evaluation forms are completed, you can begin implementing them in your formal performance appraisals. However, we do recommend allowing 2 weeks before beginning the new appraisal system to inform all employees of the coming changes. Finally, we have that computerized adaptive test. From construct development to final publishing, this portion of the project will take about 6 months. The rest of the selection battery will be built along with the CAT, and it should all be completed together. Additionally, we will be collaborating and consulting with our legal team in order to ensure the system we create together is both ethically sound and legally defensible. So overall, we're looking at about an 11-month effort. However, this schedule is notional, and we can work with you to help better fit your schedule constraints as required. Some activities, for example, may take less time than planned, and some can actually take place concurrently. With that concludes Practical Talent Solutions presentation for today. We would once again like to thank you greatly for your time. We are so happy to have been here, and we look forward to working with you further.